Hi, I'm Andy, a GCSE teacher with over 12 years experience and the founder of this channel and the LevelUp Launchpad platform. I created this because honestly, I really struggled when I was at school myself. If I'd had access to short, clear lessons like these, I know I would have felt a lot less stressed and more motivated and far more confident heading into my exam. And that's exactly why I've brought together some of the best teachers in the country to create easy to follow tutorials that your team can use to boost their grades and reduce exam anxiety. And today we're starting with GCSE English Literature. In this video you're going to hear from Emma. She's our English lead and she's an experienced head of department, as she breaks down a key part of an inspector calls in a way that your team will actually understand. So let's dive in.
Hello everybody, it's Emma again. Welcome to lesson 2 in my series of lessons on an inspector calls by JB Priestley. In today's lesson, we are going to look at context in a little bit more detail. I'm also going to go through some model answers to the questions that I set in lesson 1. So, if you manage to have a go at any of the questions from lesson 1, please have your answers in front of you because they will help you. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to analyse how the historical context shapes the key themes and explain how societal changes between 1912 and 1945 make the play's message about collective responsibility relevant to its original audience. So, this is one of the questions that I'd set from lesson 1. How does the play's historical context shape its themes? I am now going to go through a model answer with you to this question. An inspector calls is shaped by the time it's set, 1912, and when it was written, 1945. Priestley uses the play to explore themes like social responsibility, class inequality, and how everyone is connected. In 1912, society was very divided by class, and wealthy people like Mr. Burling believed everything was fine. He's used as a symbol of that outdated thinking. He even says the Titanic won't sink and that war is impossible, which the audience in 1945 knows is completely wrong. These moments make him seem foolish and show how clueless the upper classes were about the problems in society. By 1945, people had been through 2 world wars and wanted a fairer, more equal society. Priestley's ideas about everyone being responsible for each other match this mood. The historical context helps highlight the play's main themes and its message that the old ways of thinking need to change. So how did you get on? Take a look at your answer. Take a look at my model answer and see how you could potentially improve yours or add in some extra information. There may be something that I've just gone through that you didn't know, that you weren't aware of. Next question. What societal changes occurred between 1912 and 1945? Bit of a history lesson here. A model answer. A lot changed between 1912 and 1945. The First World War shattered the old idea that Britain's society and empire were unshakable. Women started to gain more rights, like the right to vote in 1918 and equal voting rights in 1928. The Great Depression in the 1930s caused widespread poverty and unemployment, which made people question whether capitalism and extreme individualism were working. Then came World War II, which made people pull together across class lines. This sense of shared effort and sacrifice helped shape a new attitude. People wanted a fairer society after the war. This led to big changes, like the introduction of the welfare state and the National Health Service. These societal changes helped make people in 1945 more open to Priestley's message about the need for fairness and shared responsibility. Question 3. How does this context make the play's message relevant in 1945? So again, please take a look at your answer and then let's go through my model answer. In 1945, an Inspector Calls would have felt very relevant to its audience. After World War II, people were looking for ways to build a better society, one that wasn't as unfair and divided as it had been in the past. Priestley's idea that we're all responsible for each other fit perfectly with the mood of the time. It was also a warning not to go back to the selfish attitudes of the pre-war years. The play's ending, with the events possibly starting all over again, feels like a reminder to learn from history. For audiences in 1945 who had just been through so much hardship, this was an important message. Priestley wanted people to think about how their actions affected others and to build a more equal society in the future. That's what made the play's message so powerful at the time. And then finally, the last question from lesson 1. Here's a model answer. How does the setting of 1912 emphasise the need for change in 1945? The 1912 setting of an Inspector Calls is used by J.B. Priestley to highlight how outdated and flawed the attitudes of that time were, which helps to emphasise the need for change in 1945. The characters, especially Arthur Burling, reflect the arrogance and complacency of the wealthy Edwardian upper classes. Burling's speeches are filled with dramatic irony. He claims the Titanic is unsinkable and that war won't happen, both of which the audience in 1945 knows to be completely wrong, as do modern-day audiences. This makes him seem short-sighted and highlights how disconnected people like him were from reality. I hope that this all helps, and I will see you next time.
If your team found that lesson helpful, just imagine what your team could achieve with access to the full library. Inside our school platform, we've got short, focused lessons across all major GCSE subjects, designed to beat the forgetting curve so knowledge actually sticks. It's less than £7 a month. It's the UK's most affordable GCSE support. You can cancel any time, there's no contract, there's no risk, and there's real motivation for your teams. They get rewards like £50 Amazon vouchers just for engaging inside our community. It's absolutely amazing. By the way, you might see a $sign when you sign up, but don't worry, you'll be charged in pounds and everything is fully aligned with the UK GCSE curriculum. Just check out some of our reviews on the page. You'll see that it's absolutely beneficial to everyone in the UK. So, head to the link in the description to learn more and help your team take the stress out of GCSEs one lesson at a time.